Today, bete, we will do our last topic of chapter number 8, disorders of gut. Gut means alimentary canal. We have discussed completely human digestive system according to alimentary canal, that it is started from your mouth till your anus, okay, and it consists of many parts. It has oral cavity, it has esophagus, it has stomach, it has special hormones, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, colon, and many other parts which are included in human digestive system. Today we will discuss the disorders of gut. This is our today's topic. Dis means I have told you the functions which are not working properly inside the body. That which are not functioning properly inside the body. So now we will start. You can see in the screen. Diarrhea, constipation, and ulcer are the most common disorders of the gut that affect a number of people in Pakistan. So these are the three main problems: diarrhea, constipation, and ulcer. These are the most common disorders of the gut that affect a number of people in Pakistan. So yeah, among these three, first of all, we will discuss about the diarrhea. Okay. So what is a diarrhea? I will told you about diarrhea with headings. Okay, then you will understand easily. First of all, I will explain you introduction. What is the introduction of diarrhea? It is a condition in which the sufferer has frequent watery loose bowel movements. Okay, frequently loose watery bowel movements. This is your introduction. Diarrhea is a condition in which the sufferer means a patient, has frequent means consistently, watery in a liquid form, loose bowel movements. Bowel, I have told you that our undigested food is stored in our rectum in the form of solid, but when a person is caught by diarrhea, so that's why its bowel movements uh, are becomes under because becomes involuntary action. They are not controlled by the patient. Okay, so diarrhea is a condition in which the sufferer means the patient has frequent, consistently watery, loose bowel movements. Okay, this is the introduction of diarrhea. Okay, now we will discuss about the sign and symptoms. What are the sign and symptoms? This condition may be accompanied by, you can see, this is a heading of about sign and symptoms. Okay, what are the sign and symptoms of diarrhea? This condition may be accompanied by abdominal pain, okay, abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting. So these are the three conditions which you can write in your question. Okay, there are three symptoms are appear: abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting. So what are its causes? It occurs when required water is not absorbed in blood from colon. So what is the reason? What is its cause? It occurs when required water is not absorbed in blood from colon. I have told you when you have discussed about the large intestine in human digestive system, in which we had discussed that our large intestine consists of three parts, and they are cecum, ileum, and colon. Okay, so the function of colon is that to reabsorb good water from the blood. Okay, so what is the condition? What is happen in this situation? It occurs when required water is not absorbed in blood from colon. Okay, come to next page. Okay, bete. What are the main causes of diarrhea? Okay, so despite these three main issues, there are other causes of diarrhea, and that is a lack of adequate safe water. Virus and bacteria may cause it. So there are other conditions which we can see. The main cause of diarrhea include The main cause of diarrhea include lack of adequate safe water. Diarrhea is also causes viral bacteria infection, and viral bacteria infection can may cause it. Okay, so there are other reasons. Three reasons I have told you in previous page, that if there is abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting, and and include lack of adequate safe water. It means that you are not getting pure water, so it can cause of diarrhea. These were the symptoms. Now we will discuss the treatment. How can we treat the bacteria? So its answer is very simple. You can see if sufficient food and water is available, the patient of diarrhea recovers in a few days. However, for malnourished individuals, the persons who have already deficiency of food in their body. Okay, so for malnourished individuals, diarrhea can lead to severe dehydration. Dehydration means that there is severe lack of water in their body. Definitely, in diarrhea, a patient is passing watery stools, so the water is removing from his body. So if a person already is malnourished individual, malnourished means it has a deficiency of food inside their body. So because of that, what is happen if a person can caught by dehydration, and can become life threatening, and definitely it has some threats for its life. So diarrhea is not so it is an infectious disease. The treatment for diarrhea involves consuming adequate amounts of water to replace the loss. So the best treatment for diarrhea is that a patient is given to a lot of water, and this water can be given through drips, through liquid food, okay, through juices. So preferably mixed with essential salts and some amounts of water to replace the loss amounts of nutrients. Antibiotics may be required if diarrhea is due to bacterial infection. I have told you that diarrhea can be cause of two different things. Sometimes it can be viral, sometimes it can be bacterial. So antibiotics may be required if diarrhea is due to bacterial infection. So what are its preventions? How can we stop the diarrhea? Preventions of diarrhea include taking clean water and essential salts. What is the important function? Preventions of diarrhea include taking clean water and essential salts, eating regularly, and taking hygienic measures. So these are the treatment of diarrhea. If we can stop the diarrhea, we can prevent the diarrhea by taking clean water, by taking important essential salts in our food, eating regularly, and taking hygienic measures. Definitely, cleanliness is the most play important role in the during diarrhea, because neatness is most important. So taking hygienic measures. So these are the preventions of diarrhea. I hope you understand it. Now we will discuss constipation. This is another disorder of gut. Constipation. So what is that? Constipation. So please mark the headings in your book. First is constipation means introduction. It is a condition where a person experiences hard feces that are difficult to eliminate. Constipation is a condition where a person experiences hard faces that are difficult to eliminate. Definitely, constipation is a process in which a person feels difficult to eliminate undigested food from its body. So, what are its causes? So, the main causes of constipation are hardening of feces due to excessive reabsorption of water through colon. Sometimes what is happen inside the body. Now these give the heading of causes. Okay, so I will told you the causes one by one. This is the first cause. Okay, the main cause of constipation include excessive reabsorption of water through colon. I have told you colon absorb water from the blood, and because of that the walls of the rectum become soft, and the undigested food remove in the solid form easily from the body of a person. But when there is a excessive absorption of water, when colon reabsorb excessive water, so because of that feces becomes hard, so it is difficult to eliminate from the body. Second cause is that insufficient intake of dietary fiber. Definitely, if we do not taking in dietary fiber from its food, and definitely dietary fiber mainly consists of water, and water is play very important because it produce water plays very important because it make the walls of rectum soft. So insufficient intake of dietary, if you are not taking properly dietary fiber in your food, it can also cause of constipation. The third is that dehydration, lack of water. If you are not taking proper water a day, we all of know that we must take 6 to 8 glass water per a day. But if you are not taking proper water inside your body, it can cause of dehydration in your body, and it also can cause of another cause of constipation. Second, next one is a use of medicines. For example, those containing iron, calcium, and aluminium. Okay, so this is the main reason, especially the persons who are above 50, oftenly they use iron, calcium, and aluminium medicines in regularly. So these all are medicine can cause of constipation. Calcium, aluminium, and iron, they can also cause of constipation. And tumors in rectum or anus, and if there is a tumor is happen in rectum or in anus. So these are the different reasons. I'm repeating these causes again. First is hardening of feces due to excessive absorption of water through colon. Second, insufficient intake of dietary fiber. Third one, dehydration. Fourth is use of medicines, for example, containing iron, calcium, and aluminium. And the fifth reason is that tumors in rectum or anus. So these are the causes of constipation. Now we will discuss the treatment of constipation. How can we treat the constipation? Treatment of constipation is with a change in dietary and excessive habits. We can treat the constipation with a change in dietary and exercise habits. Okay, if we take food properly, and if we do the exercise, so definitely when we do the exercise, our belly, all muscles are moved, and because of the movements are happen in the small intestine, in the large intestine, and because of that constipation, we can prevent the constipation. The medicines called laxatives, for example, paraffin, are used for treatment. So the medicines which consist of paraffin, they are called laxatives, and they also used for constipation. Constipation is usually easier to prevent than to treat. Constipation is usually easier to prevent than to treat. It is easy. We can prevent the constipation as compared to treatment. Treatment is not important, but prevention is most important. So one should take the required quantities of water and dietary fiber. You can prevent, you can stop the constipation if you are taking large quantity of water and you are taking a dietary fiber. So this is another disorder of gut. Now we will discuss ulcer. It is another disorder of gut, and this is very common nowadays. What is a ulcer? First, its introduction. What is ulcer? So its introduction is that ulcer, you can see peptic ulcer is a sore in gut lining. Ulcer, peptic ulcer is a sore in gut lining. In gut lining, if there is a swelling, if the swelling is produced, for example, in esophagus, duodenum, or stomach, the swelling can be produced in esophagus, duodenum, or stomach. So what is happen in ulcer? How many types of ulcer? Ulcer stomach is called gastric ulcer. Ulcer of duodenum is called duodenum ulcer. Ulcer of esophagus is called esophageal ulcer. So ulcer further divided into three parts, three types. First is called gastric ulcer, second is called duodenal ulcer, and third is called esophageal ulcer. So number one, ulcer of stomach. What is this? It is ulcer of stomach is called gastric ulcer. Ulcer of duodenum is called duodenum ulcer, and ulcer of esophagus is called esophageal ulcer. So now we will discuss the causes of ulcer, how it is happen. Breakdown of tissues by acidic gastric juice. If there is gastric juice, much gastric juice are producing in the stomach, it can cause a breakdown of tissues, so ulcer can be produced. Second is infection, any infection in the body. Third is long term use of anti-inflammatory medicines, for example aspirin. Sometimes if we are taking long term anti-inflammatory, I have told you inflammation means swelling in any organ of the body, so anti-inflammatory medicines are used to prevent the inflammation on that part. So what is happened at the time, if long term a person is using anti-inflammatory medicines, for example aspirin. Fourth cause is that smoking. Fifth cause is that drinking coffee and colas. And sixth important cause is that eating spicy food. You can see all these causes. I have shown, I'm sharing the screen with you, in the acidic gastric things in the body. Okay, then you can see tissues of the inner wall. Ulcer of stomach is called gastric juice, sorry, anti-inflammatory medicines, smoking, drinking coffee, colas, and eating spicy foods. Okay, now we will discuss the sign and symptoms of ulcer. What are they? The sign and symptoms of ulcer include abdominal burning after meals or at midnight. So its main important sign and symptoms is that it has a abdominal burning. Burning means that something feel acidic inside the body. Abdominal burning after meals or at midnight. Swear ulcers may cause abdominal pain, rush of saliva after an episode of regurgitations. Okay, rush of saliva after the episode of regurgitation. Regurgitation means uncountable. Many saliva is produced. Many saliva is produced. In swear ulcer, there is abdominal pain. A lot of saliva is produced in the mouth, nausea, loss of appetite, and weight loss. These are the symptoms of main swear ulcer. So how we can treat the ulcer? Ulcer is treated with medicines which neutralize the acidic effects of gastric juice. Okay, spicy, acidic foods and smoking should be avoided as prevention measures. So what are its preventing measures? Its preventing measures are that how can we stop the ulcer? If by stopping spicy food, by stopping acidic foods, and by stopping smoking. It should be avoided as preventive measures. So I hope these are the symptoms, treatment, and preventions of the disorders of gut. Okay, in disorders of gut, we have discussed three diseases. First, we have discussed constipation. Second, we have discussed about diarrhea, and third, we have discussed the ulcer. Now your chapter has been ended. We have discussed all the chapter. Now we will go to the exercise. Come to your book. This is your exercise. First, we will do the MCQs. So this is question number 1 is given in your book. Exercise is given in your book. You can see. Please take out your exercise in your book and do with me. This is your question number 1 and it is given on page number 167. 167. Okay, you can see what are the primary nutrients that provide quick usable energy to body. Quick usable energy to body. We have discussed all these things in the chapter that our food should be have carbohydrates, should have proteins, nucleic acids and lipids. But here they are asking about the quick usable energy. So this quick usable energy is given by carbohydrates. So question number 1, your option A is the correct answer. So come to question number 2. The wave-like movement of muscle that pushes food through digestive system is called. The wave-like movements of muscles that pushes food through digestive system is called, we have discussed in the chapter, these movements are called peristalsis. So the options are given channeling, no. Emulsification, no. Absorption, no. The correct answer is peristalsis. The correct answer is peristalsis. Now come to number 3. Micronutrients of plants are. Micronutrients of plants are. Micro means which we can see with the help of microscope. Micronutrients of plants are. You can see the options given in your book. Available in the soil only in small amounts. B option, required by plants in small amounts. Small molecules required by plants and useful but not required by plants. So the correct option is there, required by plants in small amounts. Micronutrients are important for plants, but they are required in small amounts for the plant. Now question number 4. Which of the following does not occur in oral cavity? Which of the following does not occur in oral cavity? So the correct option is that option A, lubrication of food. Option B, beginning of protein digestion. Option C, breaking the food into small fragments. Number 4, all of the above do occur in oral cavity. Question, observe the question carefully. Which of the following does not occur in oral cavity? Which thing is not produced in our oral cavity? Lubrication of food, this is appeared. Breaking the food into small fragments, this is also happen in oral cavity. All of them do occur in, this is also wrong. The correct option is which is not produced in the oral cavity. The correct answer is beginning of protein digestion. Yes, this is true. Beginning of protein digestion. This is not happen in the oral cavity. Okay, now come to next or question number 5. Where are villi found? We have discussed they are in small intestine. So esophagus, no. Stomach, no. Small intestine, yes. Large intestine, no. So the correct option is C, small intestine. Now question number 6, ulcers occur in. We have discussed presently. Ulcer occurs in. Option A is stomach, duodenum, esophagus, all of these. These all options are correct because we have discussed in the ulcer that ulcer can be produced in 3 types. Stomach ulcer, okay. Second, duodenum ulcer, and third is esophageal ulcer. So it can be produced, ulcer occur in stomach, it can be happen in stomach, it can be happen in duodenum, and it can be happen in esophagus. So the correct answer is all of these. Now come to question number 7. Which group of enzymes breaks up starches? No, we have discussed the group of enzyme proteases, lipases, amylases. We have discussed these groups. So I have told you which group of enzymes breaks up starches and other carbohydrates. So options are proteases, lipases, amylases, and none of these. Okay. So which is the correct option? So the correct option is that break up starches and other carbohydrates. We have discussed proteases just break down the proteins, lipases break down the lipids, and amylase. This is a group of enzyme which can break up starches and other carbohydrates. So the correct option is option C, amylases. Now number 8, pancreas produces digestive enzymes and releases them into. Pancreas produces digestive enzymes and releases them into. So the correct option is colon, gallbladder, liver, and duodenum. Pancreas produces digestive enzyme and releases them into. So the enzymes which are produced in pancreas, they are released in colon. This is the part of large intestine, so it is not sent there. Gallbladder, it is near to liver, so gallbladder is also stored a hormone, a fluid which is produced by liver, which is called bile, and it is sent, and this hormone goes from liver through gallbladder to small intestine. So this is not a correct option. Then liver is also not correct option, because liver and gallbladder, they both have a connection. So the correct option is duodenum. So what is the correct option? The correct option is the duodenum. Pancreas produces digestive enzymes and releases them into, where it is released, it releases into duodenum. Okay, next one is intestinal juice. Next one is in stomach, pepsinogen in human digestive system in a paragraph, that pepsinogen is an inactive enzyme in the stomach. So when hydrochloric acid is produced, when hydrochloric is produced, it converts pepsinogen into hydrogen. So the correct option is in stomach, pepsinogen is converted into, it will be converted into pepsin. So correct option is that pepsin. I hope you understand it. Come to next page. Okay, come to question number 10. Hepatic portal vein carries blood from dash to dash. Hepatic portal vein carries blood from dash to dash. If you keep in your mind uh, the structure of small intestine which we have discussed, so when the food ultimately is absorbed in the bloodstream, so there is a vein which is called hepatic portal vein. It gets blood from small intestine and take to the liver. So the correct option is the A option, small intestines and liver. So what will be answer? Hepatic portal vein carries blood from small intestines to liver. Small intestines to liver. This is the correct answer. Now question number 11. Which of the following is not a function of liver? So among these options you have to tell about which is not a function of liver. Okay, so number one is converts glucose to glycogen. This is a function of liver, so this is not our correct option. B part converts glycogen to glucose. This is also not a correct option. Manufactures fibrinogen. This is also a function of liver. These three options are the functions of liver. But according to question, we have to tell which is not the function of a liver. So the correct answer is that option D, produces digestive enzymes. This is not the function of liver. So option D is the correct answer. Question number 11. Which of the following is not a function of liver? So option D is the correct answer. Produces digestive enzyme. This is not the function of liver. Now we will discuss question number 12. The diseases of Kwashiorkor and marasmus may be due to. Now we have to tell the reason how these diseases can be happen in the body. The diseases of Kwashiorkor and marasmus may be due to. So option A is mineral deficiency. No. B option, over intake of nutrients. No, over intake of nutrients can cause of obesity, so this is also wrong answer. Protein energy malnutrition, this is a correct answer. In the short form we can write it PEM. We also discuss in the chapter that what are the causes of malnutrition. Among them we also discuss of one reason which is called protein energy malnutrition, means PEM. So what is another? The diseases of Kwashiorkor and marasmus may be due to. What is the reason? Protein energy malnutrition. And option D, is ulcer. Option D is ulcer. So definitely this is not the right answer. So what is the right answer among these options? Mineral deficiency. This is not the right answer. Over intake of nutrients, not the right answer. So the correct answer is protein, energy, malnutrition. Okay, now come to question number 13. Which food group is our body's best source of energy? Which food group is our body's best source of energy? So the options are meat group, no, fats, oils, breads and cereals, yes, and milk and cheese, yes. So what is the which food group in our body's best source of energy? So the best source of energy is breads and cereals. What is the correct answer? That is breads and cereals. Now question number 14. What may be the reason that children need more calcium and iron? You have to tell the reason. Okay, what is the correct reason? That's why what is the correct reason? What may be the reason that children need more calcium and iron? Answer is very simple. Both calcium and iron for bones. Uh, you can say both calcium and iron for blood, calcium for blood and iron for bones, calcium for bones and iron for blood. This is the correct answer because our bones needs calcium and our blood needs iron. So why do we need these two things, calcium and iron? Because calcium is important for our bones and iron is important for our blood. Now question number 15, the process of breaking down large droplets of fat into small droplets is called. We also discussed in the introduction of alimentary canal, human digestive system, that there are 5 steps in which digestion is happen. Among the 5 steps in which digestion is happen, what is emulsification? The process of breaking down large droplets of fat into small droplets is called emulsification. Absorption is not the right answer. Peristalsis is a movement, it's not the right answer. Digestion, it's not the right answer. So the right answer is that question number 15 is emulsification. Okay, bete, I'm repeating the answers again. Please check in your book again. Question number one, these are your multiple choice questions. Question number one, option A is the correct answer. Question number two, option B is the correct answer. Question number three, option B is the right answer. Question number four, option B is the right answer. Question number five, option C is the right answer. Question number six, option D is the right answer. Question number seven, option C is the right answer. Question number eight, option D is the right answer. Question number 9, option A is the right answer. Question number 10, option A is the right answer. Question number 11, option D is the right answer. Question number 12, option C is the right answer. Question number 13, option C is the right answer. Question number 14, option D is the right answer. And the last one, question number 15, option A is the right answer. I hope you have marked all these answers in your book. Okay. Uh, Now let me discuss the question answers. Before starting the long question, first we will discuss the short questions. Uh, we will see what is given. Yes, these are your long questions. So what is the long questions? So what are your long questions? So you can see first is that first long question is given in your book. What are the effects of the lack of nitrate and magnesium iron on plant growth? What are the effects of the lack of nitrate and magnesium ions on plant growth? You can find its answer on page number 141 in your book. What is the effects of the lack of nitrates? When we have discussed this topic, we have studied that nitrates and magnesium, they both play very important role in the life of a they play very important role uh, in the life of a they play very important role in the life cycle of a plant because a plant needs nitrates and magnesium both inside their body. So how do they get the nitrates? They get the nitrates from the light. When light falls on the plants in the form of nitrogen, then it converts into nitrates. And how the magnesium ions are produced? So magnesium ions play important role in the life of plant because lack of magnesium plants will not produce nitrates. So okay, so organic fertilizers important in agriculture. This is your second log question. How are inorganic and organic fertilizers? How are question number two? How are inorganic and organic fertilizers important in agriculture? So its answer is given on page number 152 in your book. Organic and inorganic fertilizers. So its important function is that I have told you fertilizers are for the growth of crops, and it can be divided into two types, organic and inorganic. Organic are natural fertilizers and inorganic which are made by scientists. So then you can find its answer on page number 142 above the topic hazards of fertilizers nowadays. Okay, among that topic. Now question number 3. This is your question number 3. Draw a table that can show sources, energy values and functions of carbohydrate, proteins and fats. So beta, you have to make a table in your register. Okay, you will make a table, you will write over there carbohydrates, okay, name of a food, carbohydrate. Then you write here an energy sources, its values, how much kilocalories they are present in the body, and their function. Okay, so you have to make the table in your, you have to make the table in your register. You can find these answers from your book. Question number 4. How are vitamin A, C, and K important in our diet? We all of know vitamins can be divided into water soluble vitamins further divided into A, C, and B. Okay, so you have to A, D, E, and K. Okay, and C is a fat soluble vitamin. So so you can find its answer. So you can find its answer in your book. Question number 4, page number 144 till 147. Page 144 till 147. You can find the answer from page number 144 till page number 147. Okay. I hope we have discussed till question number 4. Okay. Next question I will discuss with you in next class. I hope you understand it. Now your lecture has been ended. Thank you so much. ऐसे खाने पड़े अपने भी मैंने बोल दिया क्योंकि मैं ये देर में तक ये पढ़ाती हूँ आपको कॉल अच्छा तो मुझे लगता है